Hello and welcome to Intruders TV. Today we're talking to Premal Shah of Kiva.org. Welcome, Premal. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Kiva.
Sure. So Kiva is an online platform that lets you make a loan in $25 increments to a developing world entrepreneur. And it's a donation. It's not a donation. It's actually a loan. It's based on the whole concept of microfinance, which Mohammed Yunus of the Grameen Bank pioneered, and he recently won the Nobel Peace Prize for. And what this idea, what Kiva.org lets you do is simply you can be a micro-lender to an entrepreneur or small business in the developing world with your PayPal account or your credit card.
Right. So you're kind of the marketplace for bringing people who are willing to lend money, and then the people who are going to borrow. How's it structured? So I come to the site with my credit card. Let's say I want to lend $20, right? Once Kiva receives that money, right, what happens then? How is that distributed out to the actual people who are borrowing the money?
So Kiva works with a network of microfinance institutions all around the world. There are field partners. They're the ones who are responsible for vetting the entrepreneurs. A typical entrepreneur might be a woman who lives on less than $2 a day in Kenya, who wants to buy 5 or 6 cows in order to start a dairy business. And so she would go to this local microfinance institution and essentially apply for a loan. And this loan would be a much lower interest loan than if she were to go to the village money lender, who might charge between 80 to 300%. Now she's actually able to get kind of a lower interest loan from this organization. Now this organization, what they do is they take a photo of this entrepreneur and they post up onto Kiva.org's website, almost like a MySpace profile or just a business profile of kind of the entrepreneur, what they hope to do, kind of the loan amount requested, the terminal loan. Usually it's kind of about 10 months on Kiva, and basically kind of more details around the business plan and the life story of the entrepreneur. The whole goal of Kiva too isn't to talk about kind of the poverty of the world and as an abject kind of poverty pornography type thing. It's actually to emphasize the enterprising spirit of individuals all around the world who may happen to live in poverty. So that's posted up on the website, and then essentially you come along and maybe 15 other people make kind of $25 loans that amount to maybe the $500 in total that this person was requesting. Kiva aggregates that money, and then once a month we wire it over to our field partner in Kenya, and that field partner would then turn around and on-lend it to that person and be responsible for the collections over that, say, 10-month loan term. As they collect the money, they post it back to the Kiva website. You get your money. You can decide to withdraw it, or you can decide to re-lend it to another entrepreneur.
Right. Now, when you lend the money, you actually don't make any interest back, right? So you just get the money back.
Right.
It's not a loan. Okay. So is Kiva, is it a nonprofit? Is it a corporate structure? What's the legal structure behind this?
So Kiva is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's structured, a way to think about it is like Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is a nonprofit. The idea, I think, is that we think we can bring down our execution risk and costs significantly, and I don't think the margins are that great in this business of kind of trying to serve the poor, that it actually makes much more sense for us to structure ourselves as a nonprofit. So for example, PayPal gives us free payment processing because we're a nonprofit. Google gives us free AdWords, which is about 30% of our site traffic, because we're a nonprofit. The regulators, both here in the US as well as abroad, know that we're in here for the public good. So again, just to be structured as a nonprofit has really allowed us in the last 22 months, we're relatively new, to scale quite quickly with a very complicated business model.
Yeah. I mean, even though your costs, you're keeping costs down with the help of these organizations, right? You still have costs, right? You still have people to pay to here in your office, right? So how do you go about actually sustaining yourself in a sustainable manner?
So we have a number of revenue streams, some which we've actually layered in and some that we've kind of held off on. So broadly, there's kind of lender side revenue streams where we can charge optional fees to the lenders on our platform. There's borrower side where we can charge, say, like a loan origination fee to these microfinance institutions. And then there's float. Today there's about $10 million swirling around the Kiva system, and that's growing quite fast. In fact, in the last 60 days, we've done more loans than we did in all of 2006. So that should give you a sense of the ramp or the hockey stick that's happening here. So the exciting thing is that if we can keep our cost structure down, and so Wikipedia has 4 people on the payroll, Craigslist.org has 18 people who work for it full time. The great thing about internet models, especially internet platforms, is we think that we can achieve this with kind of not having to scale this into a massive company, keep our costs down, and then keep these various revenue streams, turn them on, and we have turned on a couple and have actually hit break even already, which is pretty exciting. That we should be able to continue to scale and grow, and not be one of these limping along nonprofit organizations, but rather really just a Web 2.0 company that happens to have a 501c3 nonprofit status.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the story behind Kiva, right? How did you come up with the idea? What drove you to do this?
So Kiva was actually an idea that was, I'm sure a lot of people had this idea. My friend Matt and Jessica, they actually started Kiva, the brand, and their idea, Matt was a developer at TiVo, and Jessica was working out in East Africa. They had just gotten married, and she was out there for about three months kind of doing these impact assessments on small business microloans. And Matt, who was over here in Silicon Valley, thought, God, these stories are amazing. He was also reading Warren Buffett at the time, and thinking about investing a lot, and he's kind of out of college, and so he got bit by the bug of, wouldn't it be cool if my friends and I could actually invest in these small businesses in the developing world. I was over at eBay and PayPal. I had gone on sabbatical because I'd been there for a little while, and was out in India thinking the exact same thing. Wouldn't it be cool if eBay or some type of online platform could enable me to lend a few bucks to someone and actually invest in their business, even if it's like goat herding or like a seamstress. And so it just so happened that Matt and I went to school together. We were right down the street from each other in Palo Alto. We got connected pretty soon after, kind of coming up with the idea, and we've been working together ever since.